Some of the greatest games ever made never got the spotlight they deserved. They slipped under the radar, overshadowed by massive releases and forgotten by many. Yet they hide emotional stories, brilliant mechanics, and moments that stick with you. Today, we're giving these hidden gems the space they deserve. Games that just need one chance to win you over. Before we start, tell me what's the last game that truly surprised you, the one you didn't expect much from, but ended up hooked from start to finish. For me, it was number 12 on this list, and I can tell you it's worth every second of your attention. And if you can subscribe to help the channel grow, I'd be more than happy. From one gamer to another. Let's get started. In Chants of Sennaar, you wake up in a mysterious tower, surrounded by civilizations that speak different languages and distrust each other. Your task is to climb through floors filled with symbols, puzzles, and enigmatic figures, uncovering cultures that have been isolated for generations. It's a place of strange beauty and heavy silences, where every step feels like moving through a living puzzle. The world won't hand you answers. It's up to you to find meaning in the shapes, gestures, and patterns you encounter. Right from the first minutes, the setting pulls you in. Massive gates, corridors painted with forgotten stories, and shadows watching from afar. There's no traditional dialogue, the language itself is a mystery, and decoding it feels like opening invisible doors. Gameplay blends careful exploration with intricate puzzle solving, each challenge more complex than the last. Progress isn't about rushing forward, it's about understanding, interpreting, and rebuilding a narrative lost for centuries. With every new symbol you learn, something shifts. People who once ignored you begin to interact, revealing secrets that change your entire perspective. It's as if each small victory is a step toward uniting broken worlds. The sense of progression doesn't come from weapons or levels, but from knowledge, making every moment unforgettable. Mechanics and story work together in a way that makes you feel like you're part of it all. Before long, the tower stops being just a setting and becomes a silent character with its own intentions. Echoes in the halls, the weight of massive doors opening, light filtering through stained glass. Everything hints there's much more here than meets the eye. You start to wonder not only who you are, but why you were chosen to be in this place. And that question keeps you going, even when the path seems to lead nowhere. In Murder on the Orient Express, night falls over the legendary train, cutting through the snow at full speed, when a brutal crime interrupts the journey. You take on the role of the famed detective Hercule Poirot, surrounded by mysterious passengers, each guarding their own well-kept secrets. The setting is claustrophobic, luxurious cars, narrow corridors, and the growing weight of suspicion hanging in the air. Every sideways glance, every pause in conversation feels like it's hiding something that could change the case. The game's structure is a precise dance of clue gathering, interrogation, and deduction. Examining objects, reading expressions, and catching details others would miss are key to moving forward. There's no room for haste, miss a single clue, and you could head down the wrong path. The visuals capture the golden glow of the train's interiors, the sparkle of light on crystal glasses, and the tension written on the suspects' faces. The story unfolds with twists that make you question everything you thought you knew. A seemingly obvious clue could be a trap, and a subtle contradiction in testimony can shatter your theory. It feels like stepping into a classic detective novel, but with the freedom to lead the investigation. Every decision carries weight as you try to piece together the puzzle. When the truth starts to come out, the impact is inevitable. The atmosphere of the train, snow falling outside, and the muted score amplify the tension of a case that feels impossible to solve without leaving scars. With each discovery comes the question, will justice be served, or are some secrets destined to stay locked away between these cars forever? That uncertainty keeps every second loaded with suspense. The future has arrived, but not the way we imagined. In State of Mind, technology promised to fix everything, but instead, it fractured the very essence of humanity. Berlin, 2048 drones patrol the streets, megacorporations control the flow of information, and the line between reality and the virtual world has vanished. Among glass skyscrapers and neon-lit alleyways, two intertwined stories emerge, and the truth behind them threatens the entire system. The game builds its tension through sharp dialogue and weighty choices. Scenes shift between cold, almost sterile environments and decaying spaces where life seems to persist out of pure stubbornness. A minimalist aesthetic of clean lines and solid colors reinforces the sense of an artificial world. Every conversation, every clue collected is another piece in this web of conspiracies. It soon becomes clear that this isn't just an investigation, it's something far more personal. Fragmented identities, corrupted memories, and moral dilemmas blur any sense of certainty. The game refuses to hand out easy answers, forcing you to question how far you'd go to preserve yourself. That slow, almost hypnotic buildup makes every revelation hit harder. When the layers begin to peel away, it feels like staring into a mirror, reflecting something you didn't want to see. The silence before a choice, the pause between questions, everything is charged with meaning. In the end, one question lingers: are we only what we remember, or something much more fragile that can be rewritten with a single line of code? A forest has never felt so hostile. In Blair Witch, you drive down a dirt road on a desperate search for a missing child. Your destination is the Black Hills Forest, surrounded by dark legends and stories no one dares to say out loud. Soon, daylight vanishes between the trees, and the feeling of being watched grows with every step. The radio cuts out, the GPS goes haywire, and the only certainty is that something is messing with your senses. Gameplay blends tense exploration, investigation, and moments where your sanity seems to slip away. You rely on your loyal canine companion to track clues, but even he reacts strangely to whatever lurks in the woods. Using the camera is key, sometimes to reveal things invisible to the naked eye, other times to record events you wish you could forget. Every distant sound feels like a warning that pressing on might be a mistake. As you push forward, the forest begins to twist. Trails that once led to clearings now end in dead ends, and familiar places repeat like a recurring nightmare. The game toys with time and space, trapping you in a cycle where the only way out might be through. Choices shape the journey, and even the smallest actions can completely change what lies ahead. When you finally think you're close to the truth, you realize you may never have been in control at all. The shadows feel nearer, the sounds louder, and the forest more alive than it should be. The line between reality and hallucination dissolves, leaving just one question echoing long after you shut the game off. Did you ever really get out? It all begins with a door to hell opening right in front of you. In Shadows of the Damned, this isn't just a metaphor, it's the literal journey of a hunter diving into a grotesque underworld to save a lost love. The streets are overrun with bizarre creatures, demons pulled from a twisted nightmare, and environments that blend the grotesque with the surreal. Nothing here follows the rules of the real world, and every corner hides something unexpected. Combat is direct and visceral, with weapons that have more personality than many characters in other games. Every fight demands attention, as enemies play dirty and the environment often works against you. There's a unique mix of frantic action and moments of pure discomfort when the game slows down just to let the silence weigh on you. Dark humor surfaces at the most unlikely times, breaking the tension only to crank it back up moments later. The level design is a spectacle in itself, from decaying cities bathed in red light to suffocating corridors where every step echoes endlessly. Everything reinforces the sense that nothing here is safe. Transitions between areas drip with symbolism, as if each new location is the physical manifestation of a fear or trauma. It keeps you feeling that no matter how far you go, the worst is still ahead. And it's exactly that mix of chaos, irreverence, and horror that holds you from start to finish. Just when you think you've seen it all, the game pulls the ground from under you and shows something even stranger. Every battle, every line of dialogue, every reveal builds a rhythm that leaves no room for distraction. In the end, the question isn't whether you'll win, but how much of yourself you'll leave behind before the last door closes. It all starts with an emergency call from a forgotten island. In Singularity, a mission that seemed simple quickly turns into a plunge into an experiment gone horribly wrong. A Soviet facility, abandoned since the Cold War, hides secrets capable of twisting time and rewriting history itself. Among rusted corridors and destroyed labs, something is watching, and it's not just human. The core mechanic revolves around a device that can manipulate time. With it, you can age structures until they collapse, or restore objects to their original form, opening paths and creating unique combat strategies. Enemies emerge from both the present and the past, some defying all logic, forcing you to think creatively to survive. It's action and tension in perfect balance, with the constant sense you're fighting something far bigger than you can grasp. The setting feels like a character in its own right. The island shifts between silent ruins and chaotic moments when past and present collide violently, throwing you into the middle of the mess. A simple hallway can transform into a battlefield from another era in seconds. That constant transition keeps your attention locked, as you never know what's waiting around the next corner. And as the truth comes to light, the story grows far beyond the original mission. Decades-old secrets, decisions that altered history, and consequences still echoing in the present, intertwine in an ending that leaves more questions than answers. It's the kind of journey that lingers in your mind long after you've put the controller down, with that unsettling feeling that time itself might still be watching you. In Beyond Two Souls, Jodie Holmes' life has never been normal. Since childhood, she's been connected to Aiden, an invisible entity bound to her by an unexplainable link. Between labs, secret missions, and desperate escapes, her story unfolds in a non-linear way, revealing defining moments from different points in her life. Each time jump adds a piece to who she is and who she's becoming, weaving a narrative full of emotion and mystery. Gameplay shifts between exploration, branching dialogue choices, and action sequences that demand quick reflexes. Controlling Aiden adds a unique layer, letting you pass through walls, manipulate objects, and interact with the world in ways Jodie never could alone. This isn't just a gameplay feature, it's woven into the narrative, shaping how situations play out. The environments vary dramatically from small-town America to war zones to frozen landscapes. Each setting carries a distinct atmosphere, always reflecting Jodie's emotional state at that point in the story. The cinematic direction is striking, with camera work and cuts that make each scene feel like part of a larger interactive film. In the end, more than uncovering Aiden's origins, the game questions the very bond between them. Love, fear, dependence, and freedom blend into a connection that defies explanation. It's a journey that swings between tenderness and brutality, leaving you with the sense that even after the credits roll, there's still much about Jodie and Aiden that remains in the shadows. Between moss-covered walls and corridors lit only by torches, Ghost of a Tale puts you in the role of Tilo, a minstrel mouse on a personal mission in a world ruled by warrior rats. The castle where the adventure unfolds feels alive, with secret passages, locked doors, and characters who hold back more than they reveal. It's a place that breathes history and danger, where every corner might hide a clue or a trap. Gameplay focuses on stealth and observation, avoiding direct confrontations. Disguises let you slip into restricted areas, while conversations and exploration uncover secrets that help you progress. The lack of brute force makes every move more tense, turning even the act of crossing a hallway into something calculated. You need to plan, wait for the right moment, and act with precision. The environments are rich in detail, from shadows stretching across the walls to the distant sound of footsteps echoing through the halls. Small scattered objects tell stories, and conversations with other characters reveal conflicts and intrigues that go far beyond the main goal. There's a constant sense that everything in the castle serves a purpose, and uncovering that purpose is part of the fun. As the plot unfolds, the game balances moments of calm with discoveries that change the course of the journey. Buried secrets come to light, unlikely alliances form, and previously closed paths open up. Each step forward raises new questions, keeping your curiosity alive and your focus locked on whatever might be hidden behind the next door. The horizon is nothing but a distant, silent line. In Fair Lone Sails, you set off alone on a journey across an abandoned world, guiding a colossal machine that serves as both transport and home. There's no dialogue or direct explanation, only the sound of the wind, the creak of metal, and the vastness of a land that seems to have forgotten what life is. Every stretch of road holds remnants of a past that insists on revealing itself little by little. The core mechanic is a delicate balance between maintaining the machine and moving forward. You need to manage the engine, feed it fuel, repair damage, and improvise solutions when things go wrong. Small challenges arise along the way, forcing unexpected stops and curious discoveries. This routine creates an almost organic bond between you and the vehicle, as if it's more than just bolts and steel. The visuals are melancholic yet striking, shifting between arid plains, towering ruins, and stretches swallowed by water or storms. Every new landscape feels like it's telling a silent story, leaving space for you to imagine what happened to this world. The lack of dialogue means sound and imagery are your only clues to what's truly at stake. The journey moves at an unhurried pace, but with a constant weight of purpose. There's no map or clear destination, only the certainty that moving forward is the only option. With every obstacle overcome and every repair made, the feeling grows that somewhere beyond the horizon lies something that will change how you see the entire road you've traveled so far. The tension starts before the first mission even begins. In Splinter Cell Blacklist, a terrorist group launches a series of coordinated attacks on the United States, each with a countdown deadline. Sam Fisher is called in to lead 4th Echelon, a mobile unit armed with cutting-edge espionage technology. The result is a race against time where every infiltration could mean saving thousands of lives. The game blends high-level stealth with freedom of approach. You can move like a shadow, unseen, or take a more direct route using advanced weapons and gadgets. Reading the environment is essential. Cameras, lighting, and even enemy patrol routes must be studied before you act. A small mistake can turn a perfect plan into chaotic combat in seconds. The settings range from secret bases in the desert to high-security facilities in bustling cities. Each location demands different strategies and makes full use of your tools, from drones and night vision goggles to hacking gear. This variety keeps the pace dynamic and prevents missions from feeling predictable. Throughout the campaign, choices made in the field influence not only the story's outcome, but also relationships within the team. Quiet moments aboard the airborne HQ contrast sharply with the adrenaline of missions, creating a cycle of preparation and action that keeps you invested. The constant feeling is that you're in control of a global operation where every second matters. The desert feels endless, but every inch carries memories of struggle and loss. In Laika, Age Through Blood, you follow the journey of a warrior in a post-apocalyptic world ruled by ruthless oppressors. Riding her motorcycle, she crosses ruins and desolate fields, chasing both vengeance and hope. The road is not just a physical path, but the thread that ties together a story marked by sacrifice and game-changing decisions. Gameplay mixes intense action with moments that demand pure precision. The bike isn't just transport, it's a weapon, a shield, and a survival tool. Acrobatic combat requires jumps, stunts, and perfectly timed shots, creating a constant flow between speed and strategy. Every fight feels personal, as if each enemy represents a piece of the past that must be overcome. The world is painted in bold tones and dramatic contrasts, almost like a moving piece of art. Destroyed villages, sandstorms, and the uneasy silence of abandoned roads all weigh on the journey. The narrative unfolds gradually, revealing unexpected connections between events and characters, always keeping a veil of mystery over what truly happened before everything fell apart. With each mile traveled, it feels like something important is either just ahead or right behind you. Battles leave scars, and the road is never the same twice. This mix of freedom and constant danger turns every kilometer into a choice race toward the goal, or slow down to understand what you might be losing along the way. Nothing is quiet when this crew is together. In Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, you take charge of a ragtag team of heroes who seem to argue as much with each other as they do with their enemies. The galaxy is on the brink of chaos, and the fate of entire worlds hinges on split-second decisions. Between sharp banter, mid-battle jokes, and completely out-of-control situations, the adventure never slows down. Combat blends direct action with strategic commands for the rest of the team. Each member has unique abilities that can turn the tide of battle, and coordinating those attacks is just as important as your own aim. Between fights with colossal enemies and alien hordes, there's time to explore exotic planets, uncover secrets, and solve problems that only this crew could create and maybe fix. Visually, the game is a burst of color and scale. Planets with glowing forests, floating cities, and massive starships serve as the backdrop for memorable encounters. The design of characters and environments gives the impression of living inside a comic book, with each scene crafted to be unforgettable. The story shifts between epic moments and more intimate ones, revealing vulnerabilities and motivations that go far beyond the jokes and jabs. The choices you make along the way shape the team's relationships, influencing dialogue and even key events. It's an adventure that balances chaos, humor, and heart, always leaving you with the sense that the next mission could be the most ridiculous and the most important yet. Heavy rain pours over a futuristic city as everything starts to spiral out of control. In Bright Memory Infinite, you step into the role of an elite agent caught in a supernatural event that blends advanced technology with mysterious forces. Skies torn open by dimensional rifts and enemies appearing out of nowhere create a setting where the action never lets up. The world always feels on the brink of collapse, and every second counts. Combat is a whirlwind of speed and creativity. High-impact firearms combined with razor-sharp swords, letting you switch between gunfire and melee strikes in fractions of a second. This fluidity turns every encounter into a choreographed spectacle where chained combos and rapid movements keep the pace intense. Environments shift dramatically, from narrow neon-lit streets to open fields with ancient temples, always with seamless transitions that keep immersion intact. And even with the focus on action, there are moments to explore and uncover details that reveal more about what's happening behind the chaos. The visual spectacle is as intense as the gameplay, creating images that stick in your mind. The narrative comes in fragments, through dialogue and events that unfold in the heat of battle. Piece by piece, a larger mystery takes shape, revealing a threat far greater than a simple military conflict. This mix of explosive combat and constant intrigue keeps you locked in, as if every new scene is an invitation not to look away. The first glimpse is of a world drowned in darkness, where the very earth seems corrupted. In Lords of the Fallen, you're thrown into a war against fallen gods and creatures that defy any sense of mercy. Ruins and fortresses scattered across the land, tell stories of ancient battles, while new horrors rise to block your path. Every step feels heavy, as if the world itself wants to stop you. Combat is calculated and brutal. Every strike demands focus, every dodge requires precision, and your choice of weapon can decide the outcome. Enemies range from towering warriors to grotesque abominations, all testing both reflexes and patience. Magic and special abilities expand your options, opening space for varied strategies against relentless challenges. Exploration is filled with hidden paths and interconnected areas. Broken bridges, secret passages, and shortcuts revealed after tough fights reinforce the sense of progress. The environment design is monumental, blending Gothic and apocalyptic styles with massive cathedrals and battlefields shrouded in fog and blood. Everything conveys a world doomed, yet still alive enough to fight back. The story unfolds through fragments, encounters, and choices that affect more than just your immediate path. Shadowy characters offer help for their own reasons, and the line between ally and enemy is rarely clear. Every decision carries weight, leaving you wondering if victory will come without a price too high to bear. It all starts with an unlikely mistake. An aspiring rock star gets linked to a device that syncs every move to the beat of the music. In Hi-Fi Rush, the whole world moves to vibrant rhythms, turning every fight, jump, and strike into part of an energetic choreography. Colorful environments, eccentric enemies, and witty dialogue create a vibe that's impossible not to get caught up in. Combat is a show in itself, where timing is everything. Landing hits on the beat boosts their impact, unlocks combos, and makes battles even more spectacular. Weapons and abilities blend with agile movement, encouraging creativity when facing bosses and enemy waves. Every fight feels like a performance. Miss the rhythm and you lose both power and style. The environments are like living stages, shifting and reacting to what happens in the game. Platforms move in time with the music, enemies spawn in sync, and even background elements join the dance. This union of gameplay and visual style creates moments that feel like a cross between a video game and a live concert, always keeping things fresh. Between missions, the story reveals corporate conspiracies and charismatic characters who either help or complicate the journey. The humor's lightness contrasts with challenges that demand focus, creating a balance between fun and intensity. With every new stage, you can't help but wonder which song, setting, and twist will turn the next fight into the most memorable show yet. Paris is weighed down under Nazi occupation, and every street carries a suffocating silence. In the Saboteur, you play a man determined to strike back, using the city as his battlefield. The visual hook hits right away. Areas under enemy control are shown in black and white, with color returning as you liberate each region. It's like watching life return piece by piece, painting resistance across every corner. Gameplay mixes stealth action with daring explosions. Climbing buildings, infiltrating bases, and using disguises become as much a part of your arsenal as guns and explosives. You choose whether to take out targets quietly or turn a mission into a chaotic spectacle. Each approach changes how enemies react and how the city responds to your actions. The atmosphere is dense and detailed, with cafes hiding conspirators, alleys serving as escape routes, and rooftops giving a privileged view of enemy movements. The black and white palette isn't just aesthetic, it reinforces the oppression, making every victory feel more symbolic when the color comes back. This visual change makes liberation tangible. Along the way, unlikely allies step in, each with their own motives and risks. Missions range from surgical sabotage to explosive clashes, always with the sense that something could go wrong at any moment. Paris stops being just a backdrop and becomes a living part of the fight, reminding you that resistance is built on courage, sacrifice, and moments where there's no room to hesitate. A game within a game, that's how CrossCode begins, placing you in a futuristic MMO that exists inside the story's own universe. You control Leah, a player who wakes up voiceless and with fragmented memories, trying to figure out why she's trapped in this virtual world. As you take on missions, the mystery around her identity only deepens, with each clue raising more questions. Gameplay blends fast-paced real-time combat with intricate puzzle solving. You'll switch between melee attacks, precision shots, and elemental abilities, crafting different strategies for each enemy. The areas are vast and filled with secrets, rewarding thorough exploration with new challenges and gear. The visuals lean into detailed animated pixel art that conveys both lively, bustling areas and quieter, introspective moments. Colorful villages, complex dungeons, and open landscapes bring variety to the world, while the visual design reinforces the feeling of a virtual place with its own soul. Between battles and dialogue, the plot explores themes of friendship, trust, and identity, always with that lingering question of what's real and what's just code. It's an RPG that balances intense action with an engaging narrative, leaving you eager to push on, whether for the next revelation or the next boss fight. The war was lost, but the fight is far from over. In Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus, World War II ended differently. The Nazis control the United States. In the middle of this twisted reality, BJ Blazkowicz rises once more, wounded and hunted, to reignite the resistance. Every mission strikes a direct blow to the regime, and every victory carries the weight of a world that needs to be freed. Combat is intense and unforgiving. Heavy weapons, frantic firefights, and the ability to dual-wield create a pace of pure aggression. Enemies attack in relentless waves, forcing constant movement and smart use of the environment to survive. There's no room for hesitation. The action is always direct, brutal, and impactful. The settings are varied and unforgettable, from devastated streets to fortified bases and unexpected locations that expand the story's scope. Every space is packed with detail, showing both the regime's oppression and small sparks of resistance. Even under control, the world pulses with the will to fight back. Between battles, the story dives into the characters' personal struggles, showing that resistance isn't built only on firepower, but also on bonds, sacrifice, and conviction. The game balances moments of sheer violence with emotionally charged scenes, creating a journey where hope and rage walk side by side. The road stretches as far as the eye can see, carrying promises of freedom and danger. In Road 96, every trip is unique, shaped by unexpected encounters, hard choices, and situations that can drastically change your path. You play as a teenager trying to cross the border of a country under oppressive rule, with no set map, only the hope of making it to the other side. Gameplay mixes narrative choices with exploration, alternating calm moments and high-tension scenarios. Casual conversations can turn into moral dilemmas, and one wrong move can cost you everything. Small mini-games and varied interactions keep each leg of the journey unpredictable. The scenery changes mile by mile. Deserts, abandoned gas stations, mountains, and festival-filled towns create a living world where stories unfold even out of sight. Quirky, charismatic characters appear and reappear in different contexts, deepening your connections with each run. It feels like being part of a massive mosaic, where each journey is just one piece of the bigger picture. Every decision shapes not only your character's fate, but also the broader story of the country. The urge to try just one more run to see what changes is irresistible, keeping the road open for endless discoveries. A world where magical technology known as Blastia sustains life and protects entire cities. In Tales of Vesperia, this power source lies at the heart of conflicts that threaten peace and set nations on a collision course. In the midst of it all, an unlikely group forms, setting off on a journey that starts for a simple reason, but grows into something much greater, with secrets capable of shifting the balance of the world. The real-time combat system is dynamic and full of possibilities. You can chain physical attacks, special abilities, and magic into sequences that combine strategy and speed. Each party member has their own style, letting you tailor formations for different enemies and bosses. Battles are fast, but demand constant attention to seize openings and avoid devastating blows. The settings are varied and vibrant, from peaceful villages to imposing fortresses and wildlands teeming with monsters. Each location has its own story and atmosphere, reinforcing the feeling of a living, connected world. The colorful, detailed design gives the game a distinct identity that stays memorable even years later. The narrative balances humor and lightheartedness with dramatic twists and tough choices. Relationships between characters evolve through challenges and internal conflicts, making the story grow alongside the group. It's a tale that goes far beyond the simple clash of good versus evil. Two brothers set out on a journey they'll never forget. In Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, the mission is to find the only cure that can save their ailing father, crossing a world full of wonder and danger. What starts as a family quest soon becomes an adventure defined by bonds, sacrifice, and emotional discovery. Every environment feels designed to tell a piece of the story without words. The gameplay is unique. You control both brothers at the same time, one with each side of the controller. This creates puzzles and challenges that can only be solved through perfect cooperation. The mechanic reinforces their bond, making every action feel more personal. It's simple on the surface, but emotionally powerful in execution. Environments range from peaceful villages to forgotten ruins and fantastical places straight out of a dark fairy tale. Strange creatures, unexpected encounters, and surprising events keep the pace varied, mixing calm moments with high tension. Each new place brings a genuine sense of discovery. The game's strength lies in how it conveys emotion without relying on lengthy dialogue. Gestures, expressions, and mechanics tell the story, creating moments that stick with you. With every step, the world reacts, and the brothers' journey becomes so personal, it's impossible not to feel the weight of every choice and every loss. Little is said about Titanfall 2's campaign, but it's one of the most creative and engaging in recent years. You play as an unexpected pilot who ends up in control of a Titan, a colossal machine capable of changing the outcome of any battle. Between futuristic landscapes and intense war zones, the story blends high-speed action with moments of unlikely partnership, forging a bond that goes far beyond metal and circuitry. Combat is fast, precise, and full of possibilities. The pilot's mobility, double jumps, wall running, and acrobatics combines with the Titan's raw power and heavy firepower. This interplay creates unpredictable battles where every second demands adaptation. The variety of weapons and abilities ensures no two fights feel the same. The levels are a showcase of creativity, shifting between industrial bases, dense forests, and research facilities with unique mechanics that shape gameplay. Some missions introduce ideas so original they become unforgettable moments, blending narrative and gameplay seamlessly. The story moves at the right pace, balancing frenetic action with dialogue that develops characters and expands the world. Every mission brings something new to experience, keeping things fresh until the very last fight. It's the kind of campaign that surprises anyone who gives it a chance, staying in your mind long after the credits roll. So which of these games do you think most deserves a chance? Tell me in the comments. I want to know if you've played any or discovered something new today. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like because it helps the channel a ton in keeping lists like this coming. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss what's next. If you want more recommendations, click the video on screen now and keep discovering new games.